All right, so today we're going to be changing the oil on this 2005 Acura TSX. Pretty easy job. We don't need too much. We need a socket to get the oil plug off. We need some towels to clean up because we're going to make a mess. We need some oil. We need an oil filter. And you need some sort of bucket to catch the old oil. And then you need a funnel. I don't have a funnel, so I took a cup and I cut a hole in the bottom of it, and I think that'll work. You'll also need to get the front of your car up off the ground a little bit. So you can use jack stands or ramps, or you can find some wood and make some ramps yourself, which is what I did. So hopefully that works. All right, so we have everything we need. Let's go ahead and get the car up on the ramps, and we'll start changing the oil. All right, now that we got the car up on ramps, we have some room to get underneath it. So I'll get under the car real quick to show you where the oil drain bolt is. Should be pretty easy to find, and this car is pretty obvious, so it's just this 17mm bolt right here. Once you undo that, all the old oil will come pouring out. So no. Oh God. So here's the drain bolt that I just took off. When you take this off, you want to make sure that there's a washer there. Just make sure it didn't fall into the oil or get stuck on the car or anything. And you'll either find a metal washer like I have right here, or a plastic crush washer. If it's a plastic crush washer and it's crushed and in bad shape, you're going to want to replace it with a new one. If it's a metal one like the one I have here, you can probably just reuse it and be fine, and that's what I'll do. So here I'm just replacing the drain bolt. It's a good idea to do this as soon as the oil is finished straining, just so you don't forget about it later. All right, now that all the oil is drained, we're gonna get out of the car and remove the old filter. Let's go. All right, so here we are. Here's the old filter. Acura makes it particularly difficult because, one, it's hard to get to. On some cars, it's like right down here and it's really easy. But on this car, it's all the way up here, so you gotta reach your hand. We're getting an oil filter wrench up in there, just difficult. Then two, it's horizontally mounted. So when I untwist this, some oil is gonna come spilling out and it's gonna make kind of a mess. Here we go, I'm gonna reach my hand up in there. Hopefully it's not on too tight. Well, I know it's not on too tight because I did this last time. I hope that this comes off easily. Also, it's kind of a pain because usually when you're doing this, your hands are all oily. So that's probably another reason to wear gloves. Ugh. Damn it. All right, so I've been trying to untwist this with my hands for about half an hour and it's not going anywhere. I don't know why it's on there so tight. So I'm resorting to other methods. So as you can see right here, I put a nail into the side of it. So now I'm gonna try to use the hammer to hit down on that and get it to twist. This is kind of a high risk maneuver because now I can't go anywhere if it doesn't work. So we're all in on trying to get this filter off and we'll see if it works. Okay, so after half an hour of trying to get this oil filter off with my hands, half an hour of trying to get a nail into it so that I could use that to get some leverage to untwist it. I'm now on plan C, so I wrapped a bunch of rope around the oil filter and I'm hanging on to the other end of it, and my hope is that there's enough friction between the rope and the oil filter to generate enough torque to pop this baby out. So let's see if that works. I'm going to start pulling. And it's off. Look at that. So there you have it. If you ever are in a situation where you don't have an oil filter wrench, or your oil filter wrench isn't working, just get some rope, wrap it around a couple times, and pull. So like I said, this is going to make a mess because this is a horribly designed oil filter, but it's loose. Now we can just unloosen it with our hands. And here we go. And that's what we were after. There it is. All right. Okay, so when you remove your old oil filter, the first thing you want to do is make sure that this rubber seal is still attached to the oil filter. In this case it is. Sometimes it can get stuck on where it's attached on the car, and that can cause problems when you go to put the new oil filter on. It won't be sealed right and you'll get an oil leak, and you do not want that to happen. So just make sure that this is still attached to the old oil filter. You'll be good to go. Now we can take our new oil filter and go pop it on the car. Alright, so here's our new oil filter, 001 M110A. Compare it to the old one real quick, make sure it's the same size and everything, exact same one in this case. We're good to go. So now I'll get out of the car, I'll put this on, and you can see there are the threads. That's where the oil filter goes. Threads, threads, and up we go. And we'll just hand tighten it because the goal is for it not to be too tight so that it's hard to take off, which tends to happen. So put that on and just hand tighten it. All right, that's on there good. 5 quarts. I know that this car takes about 4.5 quarts, so that's how much I'm going to fill it up to, but check your owner's manual to see how much oil your car needs. I'm going to try to use this plastic cup as a funnel because I don't have a real funnel, and hopefully that works out well, but yeah. So I'll just put the cap back on. Should be good to go. And with the car on level ground, the last thing that we want to do is check the oil level to make sure that we added the right amount. So just pull the dipstick. And it's hard to see because the oil is so clear, but I have it right between the low mark and the high mark, so we're good to go. And always remember to dispose of your old oil responsibly. So I'm dumping mine back into an old oil container, and I'll take it to an auto parts store, and most of them will recycle it free of charge. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you learned a little bit about what to do and what not to do when you change your oil. If you liked the video, please like the video, and don't forget to subscribe for future updates from Paul the Car Whisperer.